Hello everyone, my name is Perumal Jagan. I'm so happy to be here. Today I'm gonna make my second CTF video. Earlier I did CTF lunch breaker, a one hub machine, a moderate machine. Today I'm gonna showcase a try hack me machine. It is also a moderate machine. Now let us walk through. So I am in my try hack me profile. Machine name is Skynet. My apologies. I already had a walkthrough this machine. I already accomplished it. So I'm just gonna show you how to exploit this machine in this video. The first thing, you need to start your target machine. Is starting. In order to reach the target machine, you need to use either a VPN or an attack box. If you subscribed premium pack in TryHackMe, you will be able to use the attack box unlimitedly. If you don't have any Kali box or any ethical hacking VMs with you, or else you can use a VPN. I'm having my own Kali VM, so I'm gonna use my VPN. So I'll download the VPN file and I connect it to reach my target machine. Now my target machine has started. So this is the target IP. It is always a good practice of taking notes when you are doing some pen testing. It will be helpful to prepare your pen testing reports. So this is my target now. The next thing I need to do is to connect the VPN. I already downloaded the VPN file from TryHackMe. I'm just gonna connect my VPN by using OpenVPN. And my file is located in my downloads folder. And I'm connecting it. Now the VPN got connected. Let's make sure we are in TryHackMe network. Yes, we got the IP as well. The IP address is 10.17.10.171. So this is my local IP. Perfect. Now all we need to do is we need to answer these 5 questions to accomplish this room. In order to answer these questions, we have to enumerate, and we need to find a way to crack the machine. Let's start that. The first thing we need to do is Nmap, the enumeration page. We need to know what are all the services available on that IP address. Okay, I'm doing Nmap with the default script and SV. I'm gonna enumerate the target's version, and also I'm gonna enumerate the target's operating system. So this is how you need to do. And finally, the target IP address. And I am giving -v to enable the verbose. The verbose will enable the logs. It will simply shows what is happening at the backend. Perfect. Now the Nmap scan started. It found these ports on my target machine. Port 80 is opened, 445 opened, 22, 110, 143, 139. These are all the ports are opened on my target machine. Now the OS detection is going on. It just took few seconds. Finally, I got my Nmap outcome. Now let's see what we've got. On the target, port 22 is open, the SSH service enabled, open SSH 7.2 P2, okay, and port 80, HTTP, Apache 2.4.18 is enabled. We can use this version to search for exploit on Google, and the supported HTTP methods, get, head, post, options. These are the methods enabled on our target, and POP3 protocol, post office protocol. Actually, the protocol is related to email, and also IMAP. IMAP is also same as POP3, which is used to retrieve the emails. And 139 and 445 Samba shares. So it also shows that the Samba suite, the file share has been enabled on our target. So that's fine. It also does the OS fingerprinting when you give -o flag while doing the Nmap scan. What else we've got? It got the computer name. It's a Skynet, and yeah, we got this. Now let's explore the web server. So this is the home page. Skynet. It looks like some search engine. Nothing happens. No. Let's view the page source. So nothing interest. Let's view the page source. No interesting info here. Okay. Since the web server is running, we shall initiate the directory enumeration. So it will give us if any hidden directories. So I'm gonna use GoBuster here, and I'm running GoBuster in dir mode, directory mode. Before that, let's get some help to mention the word list. Okay, GoBuster dir mode -u to mention your URL. So I'm mentioning my URL here, and -w to take the word list that we want. So what it does, the word list will contain the list of probable directory names, and the GoBuster tool will compare the list of directory, the words, with the actual web application. Share word list dir-b. I'm going to use the word list of dir-b common. That's it. Now we initiated. It is running. Meanwhile, let's enumerate the 445 that we found. We know the Samba share is enabled. The file sharing option is enabled. So let's enumerate it a little bit more. Actually, Nmap will also allow us to use some scripts to enumerate specific protocols. So let me show you where the scripts are located. I think it is etc nmap, not etc, opt nmap. No, not here. Okay, the scripts are located in usr share nmap scripts. So this is where all those Nmap scripts are located. These are the scripts written in the Nmap language, LUA language. We can use these scripts to enumerate specific protocol or specific info. Now let's start the enumerate once again, and this time I'm gonna use a specific script, SMB. The script is related to SMB. First of all, let's get the script name, ls-la 5 grep SMB. So this will filter the SMB related scripts, where I'm going to use these two scripts, SMB enumerate shares, SMB enumerate users. So I want to know what are all the available shares in my target machine. So let me use this script first. Nmap --script equal to the script name, then -p, port number 445, finally the target. Okay, good to go. Let me initiate another Nmap scan parallelly. Nmap --script equal to, this script will enumerate the available users in that target SMB share. Perfect. Now script is okay, -p 445, then our target 10 10 43 24. Okay. Now the share enumeration script is done. Always record your enumeration results. This will greatly help you. Let's see what are all the shares available on my target. The IPC share, allows the anonymous access. We can read and write by using the anonymous access, and also there is a directory called anonymous. It allows us to log in anonymously. And let's see, yeah, there is one more directory called Miles Dyson, and it is not allowing us to log in anonymously. And of course, print directory. Okay, perfect. Let me see what is the user. Okay, the user script results the username Miles Dyson. So it looks like Miles Dyson is one of the users of Skynet. Okay, let's make a note of this. Let's see what happened to our directory scanning. Earlier we initiated. Yes, it seems it found few directories. These are the directories found. I'm recording this response as well. Okay, now we got few directories here. Also its status code 403. We are not authorized to view that. I think it is forbidden. Let's check it. It's forbidden. Yeah, we are forbidden from seeing that content. Let's see what is present in the admin directory. Even admin directory is same. Config. No, you don't have permission to see that. Okay, I think index page. It will throw the index page again. Yeah, it gives me the index page. Let's see what else. CSS, JS, JS. No, forbidden. CSS, the same. It's forbidden. Um, server status. The status code shows 403. This is also same, but we got the last one, squirrel mail. Let's see what is present here. Okay, it looks like we got a mail login page, the mail called squirrel mail, and also there is a version. So let's mark it down. Perfect. We don't have any login. Maybe the username is Miles Dyson, but we yet to know the password. Also, let's note down this version number. This may help while finding the exploit. Okay. What else? Hope we found a few directories. We found some anonymous directory and IPC directory. Let's log into that directory. We shall use the anonymous login to get into that. Now let's log in the SMB shares by using the anonymous login. We found there is directory called anonymous. Let's try that first. In order to log in, I'm using the application called SMB client. The command is simple, SMB client, then the IP address of our target, and our target 10.10.43.24. Gosh, I'm forgetting it. 10.10.43.24. Okay, 10.10.43.24. Then anonymous. Mention the directory name. Okay, now just giving enter. I'm not giving any password. Now it allowed me to log in. I'm in the SMB file share. Let's see what are all the contents present here. Okay, there is a document called attention.txt. So I'm using get command to grab that document to my local machine. Okay, the download is accomplished, and there is a directory called logs. Let's move into that. Okay, we are moved to log directory. There are 3 files and 2 files with 0 size, and the log1.txt has something. So let's get that file as well. Okay, the download is done. Okay, let's see attention.txt first. Cat. Okay, it seems to be there is a notes. A recent system malfunction has caused various passwords to be changed. All Skynet employees are required to change their password after seeing this. Okay, it seems the Skynet employees are not changed their passwords. And also the name, again, it's Miles Dyson. Okay, now let's see what is present in that log1.txt. Okay, it looks like a list of passwords. Okay, we already knew there is a squirrel mail. The username might be Miles Dyson, but we yet to know the password. So what shall we do? Is it the password of Squirrel Mail? I'm not sure, but there is another share called Miles Dyson. Okay, so let's try to use a password cracking tool Hydra to perform some dictionary attack on this Miles Dyson share. Let's try. We may get some sensitive info. Okay, I'm just giving Hydra and hyphen L to mention the username, hyphen small l to mention a single username. If it is a file, username file, then you need to mention the flag hyphen capital L, Miles Dyson. Okay, then hyphen P, capital P, because I'm gonna use a password file. The password file is located is log1.txt. We already got the list of passwords, right? So I'm just using that, and I'm gonna try it against the SMB protocol, and finally my target and the share. Okay, now it is attacking. Let's wait. As we see the results, it is not worked out. There is no passwords found from that file for this Miles Dyson share, but we may also give a try in this Squirrel Mail login by keeping the name as Miles Dyson and the password. We shall use the list of passwords that we found in this log1.txt, and we no need to try it manually by putting one entry at a time. Instead, we shall use Burp Suite. Burp Suite is a great tool to try brute forcing the web form logins. So let me show you how to do that. Now I started the Burp Suite. The first thing I need to do is to set up the scope. I'm just setting up the scope as my Squirrel Mail login URL. Yes, it is done. Now I enable my Burp proxy and giving the username as Miles Dyson and password simply test. So I gave login here. Now the burp detected the traffic. It just intercepted the traffic. We had to forward the traffic after doing the modification that we want. So I'm just sending it to repeater. So this is where we can modify our request. If we send here, if we send the request, it will give us the response that we want. Okay, we got the response. If you click render, it will show the web page. Now it's shown the web page that is resulted when you enter the incorrect password. Perfect. Okay, now the same thing we need to forward it to intruder. So intruder. Now we are in intruder. This is the tool we are going to use to perform the dictionary attacks. And this is our target position. So it's a very important part. First of all, you need to specify the spot where you need to brute force. So here you can see the dollar, the dollar symbol, the highlighted entry. So these entries are already highlighted. So let me clear this. I just going to mention the place that I want. I'm just gonna brute force my password by using the password file that we found. So I'm just mentioning, highlighting that secret key part alone. I'm adding it. Let me remove this text in between that. So make sure there are two uh, the dollar kind of symbol. So in between this symbol only our input is gonna entered. Okay, now the position is fixed. The next one is payload. The payload type is simple list is chosen, and we need to load our payload. In order to do that, let me click it simply and going to the directory Skynet log1.txt. Now I loaded the list of passwords from that file. Now all I need to do is to start the attack. Now the intruder is trying the password one by one. It will take some time, let's wait. Okay, now the burp has finished its attack. It tried almost 31 passwords from that list. Let's see the response length. It is always good practice to see the response length. Let's see, is there any deviation? All the response lengths are same, 3240, except this two. So this could be the password here. Let's try this as a password in our Skrill mail. So I'm closing the burp, turning off. Let's open the list. Chat log1.txt. This is the password we've seen. Cyborg007 Hello Terminator. Okay. Let's try logging in. Oh, okay. We logged in. We logged into the email box of the user Miles Dyson. And when you see the email, we found something interest. Samba password reset. Let's open that. Okay. We have changed your SMB password after system malfunction. The password is okay. Now we got the password of the user Miles Dyson. So we can use this password to log in Miles Dyson's SMB share. So let's mark this password somewhere. Miles Dyson's SMB password. And also let me note down its let me note down his Squirrel Mail password. Squirrel Mail Miles Dyson, and the password is okay. Now let's use this password to log in Miles Dyson's SMB share. The command is very simple. SMB client and the target IP 10.10.43.24. 43.24. The share name is Miles Dyson. Okay, and to specify the username, use the flag -u, the same Miles Dyson, the username. Okay, now I'm just pasting password which is in the clipboard. Okay, now we logged into the Miles Dyson's SMB share. We shall enumerate, is there anything important for us? Okay, there are a couple of PDF documents here and a directory called notes. Let's open the notes directory. Okay. It contains few MD files. Oh, can you see here? It contains a file called important.txt. So something must be important in that. I'm just downloading it to my local machine. Let me log out from the anonymous login. Okay, perfect. The important.txt, cat important.txt. Oh, okay. Can you see this? Add features to beta CMS slash some random characters and work on T800 model 101 blueprints. Spend more time with my wife. Okay. The point number one seems to be informative. It looks like a directory name after the forward slash. So why don't we try uh, why don't we try it? Oh, okay. We've got a page, Miles Dyson's personal page. Mr. Miles Bennett Dyson was the original inventor of the neural net processor, which would lead to the development of Skynet, a computer AI intended to control ethically linked weapons and defend the United States. Okay. Mm, let's see the page resource. No, nothing is exposed. Uh, okay, we got a new page. We got Miles Dyson's page. Why don't we start the GoBuster again on this link? Let's do that. GoBuster. Okay, GoBuster directory -u. Perfect. Then hyphen word list. I'm using the same word list. usr share word list dirb common. It will take some time. Let's wait. Meanwhile, we found the version of the squirrel mail. So meanwhile, let's search for any exploits for this version. It shows squirrel mail 1.4.223 remote code execution. Let's see. Is showcasing an exploit code. Let's download this 41910. Okay. Now we got the exploit code. Let's make it as executable 910. Perfect. Okay. Why don't we try this against our squirrel mail URL? Let's do that. Squirrel mail. So let's try it right away. 41910. Just trying to execute this. Somehow I'm not able to execute this code. Okay, this might be a dead end. Okay, let's see our GoBuster results on the newly found MileStation directory. We found something, I believe. A directory called administrator. So let's do administrator. Okay, fine. It redirected us to another page, Kappa CMS. Okay, let's try to log in with the same username and password that we found. No, it's not working out. Miles Dyson. No, it's not getting in. Admin. No, no use. Okay, anyway, we found another name here, Kappa CMS. So let's try to get exploit for that. Kappa CMS exploit. Okay, the exploit title is Kappa CMS file inclusion. The vulnerability is PHP code injection. Okay, you can see the exploit code here, the exploit method. Okay, here we can see the file inclusion vulnerability exploit method. So we can use, I think we can use this URL to exploit the file inclusion vulnerability. So let's give a try. HTTP colon target. After target, kappa alert config field URS. Okay, in order to view the hc/password file. So I'll let you know what is file inclusion vulnerability. The file inclusion vulnerability is like um, a flaw in the PHP code. When the PHP code like alert config.field.php is try to fetch parameter called URL config, when it fails to sanitize the input, at the time it is like vulnerable to the file inclusion. So it is something like that. So let's see what is what we get when you use this. I'm going to duplicate this. So this is the Kappa CMS page. So from here, I'm trying this. No, nothing we got. Let's take out this Kappa. Now, oh, okay. I think we got the response of the etc password file. We got the contents of this file, etc password. Oh, yeah, I think that is the case. Okay, let's throw our burp suite. I'll give it once again. Now the burp suite. Okay, it tries to fetch this HC password. When I move to repeater, let me send. Okay, yeah, actually we got the results of password file. So this is what contained in the password file. The user called Miles Dyson, postfix, MySQL login, and root, of course. So we got the pass WD file contents. What if we can able to fetch the content of shadow file as well? If we manage to get the content of shadow file, then we can unshadow it and we can use John to crack the hashes. So let's try that. Before that, let me turn off this. Okay. Fine. Now it's the shadow. No, unfortunately, we don't see the content of shadow file, but I think we can explore through other directories. Let's see. Let's go to the Miles Dyson's home directory. If the user Miles Dyson is present, there must be the home directory of Miles Dyson. Let's see Miles Dyson. Nothing. And let's give some random file name. Flag.txt to fetch the user flag. No, it is not present. User.txt. Oh, okay. Now you can see we got the flag for the user Miles Dyson. Okay, I'm just marking it. We used this exploit URL. We used the file inclusion and we missed. We finally got the flag for the user. But don't forget, our ultimate goal is to grab the root flag. So keep that in mind. I'm also making note of this flag. Okay, now what we need to do, let's see what else we've got here. And we have another URL here. They modified the input here. Here they're mentioning another URL with shell.txt. Okay, looks like we can use this URL to get the reverse shell. Let's try that. Let's form first. First, let's form the URL. Until URL config, everything will be same. Okay, then if we mention a particular URL, this target, my request will actually try to reach this URL and try to execute the particular file present in this HTTP server. So I think that is what they are trying to say here. Okay, now I can create my own HTTP server by using Python. Before doing that, we need to build our payload first. So by using that HTTP service, I need to supply the payload to my target. So my target will execute that payload and it will give shell back to us. So that is the concept here. So I'm gonna use MSF Venom to develop my payload. MSF Venom and list payload. I think we can create one PHP payload here as the web server is executing the PHP code, and getting Meterpreter shell would be the best option because Meterpreter shell will give us more features. I'm looking for reverse TCP. So yeah, this would be perfect. PHP / meterpreter reverse TCP. We can choose either this one or this one. I'm going with this. Perfect. Now clear MSF Venom, and I'm giving -p flag to mention the payload that I want to create and localhost. I'm mentioning my localhost IP. So when the target is implementing this payload, it will somehow give the reverse shell to my local machine. So I'm just mentioning the localhost. My localhost IP address is ipconfig 10.17.10.171. Okay, so I'm mentioning this. The next L port. The L port is 1234. I'm giving a random port. Okay, and -o flag to put my payload into a file. So the payload name is php reverse shell.php. Okay, now MS Venom is generating the payload. When my target executes the PHP payload, it will give reverse shell to my local machine. So I also need to enable the listener on my local machine. Okay, now it is generated. Okay, the payload is generated now. The payload is located in my YT videos Skynet directories. So this is where I need to create my Python web server. Let's do that. In order to create Python web server, we can use both Python v2, Python 2 as well as Python 3. I'm using Python 3 here, and -m to create it. http.server, and on which port we need. I'm just using a non-standard port 8080. Okay, now the HTTP server is started. In order to reach this HTTP server, I need to use this particular URL. Okay, since it is a local machine, it is showing 0000. Okay, now what we need is, let's go to that URL. So this is where we need to mention the URL. We know the URL now. We initiated the HTTP server on the directory where it contains the PHP reverse shell. Okay, now let me mention the URL. The HTTP server is running on my local machine, so I'm mentioning 10.17.10.171, my local machine IP, and on custom 8080 port. And also we need to mention the specific payload. The specific payload is nothing but php reverse shell.php. Okay, now it looks fine. When we execute this URL, it simply throws the reverse shell request to my local machine. So to be ready, I need to enable the listener. So I'm using Metasploit console. Since I'm going to receive my Meterpreter shell, sudo msf console. It is being started. There is a module called multi-handler, which is where we are going to enable our listener. So let's search for that. Multi-handler. Okay, this is what we need to use. So use 5. Okay, options. We need to set our payload and L host and our L port. Okay, set payload. The payload we're gonna use is PHP payload. If you have no idea which payload to use, then you simply give the command show payloads. It will list the available payloads. Okay, now we need is PHP. Yeah, here it is. Payload. Okay, payload PHP meterpreter underscore reverse underscore TCP. This is what the similar payload we mentioned while creating the payload MSF by using the MSF Venom. So I'm just using the same payload here in the listener. Okay, set payload. Perfect. The payload is set now. Again, options, set the L port 1234 and set L host, my local machine IP 10171. Perfect. Now all the parameters are set. I'm just running the module. Now the listener is enabled. All we need to do is to execute this particular URL. So here what happens? Alert config field.php file is try to include the parameter URL config, but the input that we are giving in that URL config is not being sanitized. That is why it able to execute the script whatever we are mentioning here. So I mentioned my PHP reverse shell script. So I'm just giving enter. It is still loading, but no need to worry. If we go to our Metasploit, we got our meterpreter session. Our session is received from our target. Okay, get user ID. My name is www-data, and this is where I'm currently in. Okay, now when I see the list of available files here, we can see alert config field.php file here. So this is the file. So let's explore this file. So in order to explore, I'm just simply downloading this file to my local machine. Download alert config field file. Okay, it is downloaded. Oh, sorry, not this window. I'm exiting this. Clear and ls. Alert config php. Okay, I'm using nano editor to showcase this. Okay, so this is our PHP script. The line here, PHP include $_request. So the include function, it executes the include function, but when it is trying to fetch URL config by using the include function, it fails to sanitize the input that it is getting. So that is why it is called file inclusion vulnerability. It is using include function to get some information. So that is the concept here. So that is why we are able to, that is why we were able to gain the reverse shell by exploiting the local file inclusion vulnerability. Okay. Now we got the shell. Let's move to home directory. We found a username Miles Dyson. Miles Dyson. Okay. Okay, perfect. This is the file contains the user flag. But this is not what we need. We need root flag. For that, we need to escalate our privileges. So far, we got only the www data privilege. We are not root yet. So we need to find a way to become root. Get UID. Okay. So before that, let's get into the normal shell. In order to get into that from interpreter, the command is shell. After that, bash -i. So now we got the normal Linux shell. Here we can use the Linux commands. Perfect. Now we got this. When I was doing this machine for a first time, I did till this step. After that, to do the privilege escalation, I got stuck and I referred some write-ups, and now also I'm just referring the method that John Hammond mentioned in his video to escalate the privilege. So I'm just using the same method. Credit goes to him. Okay, now I am present as a www.data. I'm not yet root. To escalate the privilege, I need to execute the script, linpiece script. Here I am doing that. There are multiple methods, but linpiece script is the widely used script to escalate our privileges. So it will simply execute, it will enumerate the machine, and it tries to find any privilege escalation vectors. Okay, but in this machine, it doesn't contain the script yet, but we can get it. Let's check whether we have wget here. Yeah, wget is installed in this machine, and we are already running HTTP server on our folder Skynet, and our Skynet folder contains the linpiece.shell script. Okay, now let's try to wget the file. Okay, permission denied, not try to success. Okay, let's see. ls-la. What is our present directory? We are in Miles Dyson directory. We don't have write permission here. Be able to write in www directory. I think it's var www html wget http 10 17 10 171 80 80 linpiece dot shell. Okay, now we got the linpiece shell here. ls-la. Let's make it executable. chmod plus x linpiece piece.sh. Okay, okay, now the linpiece.shell become executable. All you need is simply execute the script. The script will do everything that you need. The script is started. The script is accomplished now. Let's see what we've got. Okay, the script says um, the content highlighted in red and yellow would be 95% of previous vector. So let's concentrate on the entries highlighted in red. Old pwd home.milesdyson home directory, we already explored it. It shows the list of processes that are running by root. Apache process found. Now we are in cron jobs. Cron jobs is like some automated scripts in Linux. Something is here. See, it is. Oh, I think we got something fishy. Yeah, we got. Can you see this entry? Home milestation backup dot sh. A shell script is being executed every minute, and it is executed by root. I think we can exploit this script. We can try to manipulate this script to make use of it. I think we can try to manipulate the script. Let's try. Okay, first of all, let's see what is present here. Cat. Okay, here the script, it actually opens the HTML directory, our web server directory, and it tries to archive all the contents present in this directory into this backup.tgz file. All content. There is an asterisk, a wildcard mask. There is a method available to compromise this tar, like a tar wildcard injection method. Let's search for that. Tar wildcard exploit. Hacking article. I think this would be the better link to go with. Okay, here you can see the similar example. Cron tab, a particular script is being run by root. Yeah, the same thing here. See the first 4 lines here. What they are trying to say, let's understand. They are just echoing this particular command, the particular script, and they are putting that script into shell.sh, and they are mentioning checkpoint action to execute that shell, and also mentioning giving value as 1. As far as I learned, we need to use these 2 commands to manipulate the cron job that is running on target machine. We should not use the 4th one, because we need to make sure this particular script that we are adding is going to run by root. I'm not going to use this particular script. The script is used to execute a script and get the reverse shell. I'm not going to use a reverse shell concept here. I referred John Hammond video. He recommended a simple method. I'm just going to use it here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is printf, then single quote, shebang, bin bash. Okay, and new line. In the new line, you need to modify the privilege of the bash shell. Bin bash. New line chmod plus yes. I'm just adding the plus yes to add the SUID binary for my bin bash. So let's see what is bin bash here. So this is my target machine. When I use bin bash, I log into bash shell. Who am I? It's a subshell. So when we give exit, it again brings us back to my target machine. So it's like a shell. So ls-la bin bash. So far my bin bash contains no SUID binary. If we add SUID binary, S will be added in this. privilege. Okay, and we need to make one more change here. There is no echo. We just gonna printf this particular command into the shell script. Okay, this is the main command. We just modifying the SUID binary. We just adding the SUID binary to bin bash file, and this command is gonna executed as root, as that particular script is the cron job. The particular cron job is already run by root. So let's add this command one by one. Added. Next. Done. Now it is done. Now let's see ls-la bin bash. Actually, the script is executed for every minute. We need 20 seconds more. The SUID binary is not yet added. Again, ls-la bin bash. Now you can see, compare with the previous results, the privilege, the execution, the SUID binary is added here, which means when we run this bin bash with a flag, it will be executed as root. Now we have added these three lines in our web directory. We added the script as well into the shell file, shell.sh file. So when that particular cron job is being executed every minute, it also execute this particular script. Inside the script, we also added a command to enable the SUID binary for our bash shell. We can able to execute this bash as a bash owner. So bash owner is root. Bash is owned by root. So let's verify that. -la bin bash. So it is owned by root. So we will be able to run as root. We already executed that commands. Then only we got this SUID binary here. So SUID binary is enabled here. So in order to run this bin bash as root, we have to use a flag -p, bin bash -p. Let's click, just one click. Nothing happened, but we can execute our command here. Who am I? Now I am the root. Okay, it gives me the list of available files here. Let me move to root directory, present working directory, root directory, ls. Now I can see root.txt, which is where our root flag is located. Okay, so let's cat that root txt. Okay, now we also got our root flag. Let's copy it and paste it here. Perfect. We got the root flag as well. Now it is time to answer those questions that we've asked. I'm just adding a little more time. What is Miles' password for his emails? We found this password by using the burp intruder. Burp intruder gave this password and the hidden directory. We found this hidden directory from Miles Dyson's SMB share. And also I gave answer. And what is the vulnerability called when you can include remote file or malicious purposes? Remote file inclusion. So this is what we capitalized a while ago. And the user flag. The flag that we captured by manipulating the local file inclusion on the URL tab. The flag actually shown on our web page, as well as once we got the reverse shell, we moved to Miles Dyson's directory. We found the shell there. I mean, we found the flag in Miles Dyson directory. And root flag, just now we found that this is all about this machine called Skynet. Yeah, that's all I had to say. The Skynet is a simple machine for others, but as I'm a beginner, it is little bit difficult for me. But apart from that, it's a great learning. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you really did, hit the like button and consider subscribing my channel. You can also share this video among your friends. Yeah, that's all I had to say. I'll see you next time with another exciting video. Until then, signing off. Take care. Love you guys.